Hello everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Season 2 in the Celtic FC 25 career mode. In Season 1, we did the double. You can see Carter Vickers there with the Scottish Cup. We did win the league and the cup in a very, very successful campaign. In the Champions League, we did lose in the last 16 to Aston Villa, I should say. Nearly called them by their stadium there by accident. But we had a good run in it. We came 6th in the league phase, qualified automatically for the last 16 and got knocked out to a good Aston Villa side. So in terms of our first season in Europe, I was pretty happy with it, and that is going to be the main focus throughout the rest of this series, lads. I did say in Season 1 that after that season commences and finishes, we were going to have our main focus be on Europe. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to show you any of the league games or any of the cup games, but the majority of our focus is going to be on the Champions League. Let me give you a quick look at the current squad that we have at the moment. So you might notice a new name between the sticks here in Poulsen, but I'll get on to him in a little bit. Everything else is basically the exact same as it was in Season 1, but that's not going to be the case by the time we're finished in the transfer window. But I just wanted to give you a bit of a look at the squad at the moment. You've probably noticed a new free agent here on the bench as well. But everything else, as I say, pretty much remains the same. But that is not going to be the case in just a few days in game. We are going to make some signings. I've kind of identified some of the positions I feel like we need to improve in, and I've shortlisted a ton of players in each of those positions. So before I get into the shortlist, let me show you this guy here, Poulsen. So he is the regen of Kasper Schmeichel. You'll probably remember me saying that the original plan was to go and sign Caoimhín Kelleher, because obviously we're doing an Ireland career mode in the same save as this. We're taking over the Irish national team. We're kind of doing it as a somewhat separate series, but they're kind of intertwined. I think, that makes sense. Let's just move on. But I was going to sign Caoimhín Kelleher with the thought process being, it makes sense for Celtic to have an Irish goalkeeper like the great Packy Bonner back in the day. But Caoimhín Kelleher has actually moved to Union Berlin. And the reason I wanted to bring him into Celtic was because he was a decent rated goalkeeper who I felt like wasn't going to grow being a backup to Alisson for the majority of this career mode. But as I say, he has moved to Union Berlin in the Bundesliga, and he is actually going up in his overall. So I'm going to hold off on that, at least for now. We're going to leave Caoimhín Kelleher grow as much as he can out in Germany. And Poulsen, he was in the free agents. He's the regen of the goalkeeper we had last season, which technically would make him a third generation goalkeeper. Obviously Peter Schmeichel, Kasper Schmeichel, and now, Poulsen, he decided to change his second name to get his own identity. He doesn't want that pressure that Kasper Schmeichel had, trying to live up to his dad's expectations and his legacy as well. So he's had a smart approach here. He must have used, the name from his mam's side or something. So fair play to him. But he is the new goalkeeper, 77 rated, 18 years old. He is a long-term option, so I'm excited to see what he can do for us this season. But let's get into the shortlist and identify some of the players that we'll be looking to sign. So there is a lot of players here, as you can see. There is a hell of a lot of CDMs, because I do feel like with Callum McGregor being 32, I think at the moment, or nearly 33, we do need to get a new CDM. So he is currently 79 rated, so I looked for players who are in and around the same overall, who are obviously much younger, and these are the players that we currently have shortlisted. If we keep going down here, there's lots of them. This guy Peters, I just looked at him as maybe a bit of a backup for the future. 72 rated. He is a decently rated CDM for his age, but not exactly somebody who I'd want to throw into the starting 11 right now. So I tried to look in as many different leagues as I could. Obviously, I've changed the settings so that I can see players overall from the get-go. I just prefer it that way. I think sometimes when you have to scout players for weeks upon weeks upon weeks in game, it just gets a bit boring. So I'm happy that we get to see the players overalls from the get-go. So in terms of the players who I'm kind of most interested in using. I like this Dorley guy here at Slavia Prague. I've never used anyone from that team before, I don't think, at least not recently. 80 rated, 26 years old. He looks like he could be a decent option. Again, somebody I've never really used before. I've never really used a lot of these players before. Tyler Adams I would have. Skip I probably have. Decore, you know, I don't know how realistic it would be, Decore coming to Celtic at this stage, but again, we're not really focusing too much on realism here. We just want to win trophies in this and compete in the Champions League. There's a few other decent players here. Dorado, 81 rated. He looks pretty decent. I feel like there was somebody else here who I was going to talk about. Danilo, I used him briefly towards the end of FC24 in a Nottingham Forest career mode, and he was pretty decent. So 78 rated, 24 years old, room to grow. He's somebody that could be a good option. Something I'm having to look at as well is the price of these players, because we do have a bit of a limited budget, shall we say. And CDM is one of the areas I feel like we need to improve sooner rather than later, with obviously McGregor aging and Gustafsson, the backup CDM, who I do have transfer listed. And I will get into the players who we have transfer listed as well in the next few minutes, but I do feel like this is a position we need to strengthen sooner rather than later, as I say. There's Kevin Kelleher. I'll still keep him in the shortlist because if I feel like he's not growing enough at Union Berlin, I'll just end up bringing him into Celtic, and hopefully he can get some decent growth there. But it looks like he's doing quite well since he moved there. They've got a nice goalkeeper kit, actually. It's kind of cool. The sponsor is just the name of the city, Berlin. That's pretty cool. So centre back, there's two players I have here. Jake O'Brien, obviously, who we spoke about before, my third cousin. Now, this is not something that's going to happen anytime soon, but it was just out of curiosity. Virgil van Dijk, former Celtic player. He's 33 at the moment, still obviously playing for Liverpool. Again, with Virgil van Dijk, if there was ever a chance we could get him on a very cheap cut price, I would consider bringing him in. However, at the moment he would cost 44 million, which, spoiler alert, is more than our current budget, so we're not going to be able to sign Van Dijk. But I also wanted to keep him there to see if he ends up retiring at any stage in the next kind of season or two, and we could look at bringing in his regen. I do think, though, with Van Dijk, he wouldn't be a free agent if he became a regen. If he retired and got a regen, I should say, because I think the only reason Schmeichel was because he played for us, so we couldn't get the regen player. Whereas if it happens to players at other teams, I think Van Dijk's regen would go to a Premier League team. I think that's how it works, but somebody might be able to correct me on that. I've always been a little bit confused about how regens work in terms of, you know, where they first populate in the game when the player regenerates. But I've kept him here for now just to see what the story is. But I have brought in a free agent centre back, which you might have seen when we were in the squad hub. I'll get into that as well. Christensen is a left back who we've considered bringing in as well. Probably not this time round in terms of the players we have at left back at the moment. Sessegnon and Valet I think will be okay for another season, but Sessegnon's sharpness has been a bit of an issue, so Christensen is someone I'm going to keep my eye on. Decent player, 12 million at the moment, which isn't too bad of a price. 22 years old, 77 rated. He looks very, very decent, but again, we'll stick with Sessegnon for now and see how we go at the end of the season. So without further ado, let's get into the players that we have transfer listed. Got into a fit of coughing there right as I stopped that part of the recording. My apologies. I am feeling very under the weather at the moment, lads, so if I sound miserable, I am, to be quite honest. And it's not just because we've just seen Celtic lose 7-1 to Borussia Dortmund at the time of recording. But Francis Turley is one of the first players we have transfer listed. 19 years old, 58 rated. Not really going to get any game time. Samuel Gustafsson, we brought him in as a free agent to be a backup CDM. He's decent, you know what I mean? He's alright as a backup, but we are looking to bring in a younger CDM in order to, you know, have a long-term player in that position when McGregor starts to drop off, and I don't think Gustafsson is that player. Ralston, we've brought in a regen right back from France, who I will show you there in a second. So I felt like with Ralston, probably time to move him on. 26 years old, 72 rated, not going to get much better. The player we brought in is the same overall as him as well, but considerably younger, so we'll try and cash in on him. Trusty, I tell you what, this man has a very ironic surname. name, because he was a bloody liability against Dortmund in the Champions League. He will be sold. Didn't really use him much in this career mode. I'm not just selling him because he did bad in real life, but I very, very rarely used him. I don't know, he just never really got into the team much, and I feel like that we're not really going to use him much this season either. So I've decided to move him on. I reckon we'll get some decent offers for him. Tilio here, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, 23 years old, 69 rated. I think we can get some decent money for him. Home, we've had transfer listed for quite some time. Kwan, he is kind of in the same boat as Tilio, mid-20s or nearly mid-20s, 68 rated at 24 years old, not going to get much better. Johnny Kenny, young Irish striker, going to sell him on as well. Montgomery, a left back that we're going to sell. Lager Biliak, however you say that, we're selling him. Cochrane didn't really grow much when he went out on loan. We'll look to move him on. Duggan, we've been trying to sell for ages. McIntyre, I think we have loan listed. Ward, we have loan listed as well. He did really well when he went out on loan, so I think he could do with another loan deal as well. Guthrie, I actually was trying to sell him, but the offers kept breaking down, so I'm going to loan list him and hope that a loan to buy offer comes in, and from there we can hopefully sell him on that way. So those are the players we have transfer listed and loan listed, and yeah, let me show you some of the other players that we've brought in from the free agents. So Matthias Pullison, we've already mentioned. He is the new goalkeeper. Sinisalo will still be the backup goalkeeper, so pretty happy with that. Let's just hope Poulsen doesn't get injured. Don't know how a 69 rated goalkeeper, 23 years old, is going to fare in a season where we're hoping to go a bit further in Europe and obviously try and win another league title and hopefully another cup as well. But that is the first free agent that we brought in. Israel Reyes, one of the free agents from Mexico at the very start of career mode. We've brought him in as well. Was very surprised he was still available on a free, but I wasn't complaining. I felt like that we needed another centre back just to be a backup. Obviously we have Scales, who is left-footed, and I wanted to make sure that we had another right-footed backup centre-back, because both the backups here, Trusty and Scales, are both left-footed. I find that right-footers have a better weak foot than left-footers do, and obviously we're selling Trusty, so I think this made sense, bringing in Israel Reyes. So welcome to the club, Israel Reyes. Very happy with that. And then the other free agent we brought in was this guy here, Cedric Marquis, I think is how you say it. I'm learning French, I should know that. We will be doing a very French-themed career mode, not in the next one, but the one after the next career mode. So I did a preview for the 3 teams we'll be doing in career mode right before the start of this one, so check that out if you haven't already. Very, very much looking forward to that career mode when the time comes. But 19 years old, 73 rated. He's actually gone up since we signed him, and Ralston, of course, is being sold because of that. So very, very happy with him. And I think that's it. Why did I feel like there was someone else we brought in? No, that is it. As I said, lads, not feeling great at the moment. I think I have COVID. Need to get it tested. So yeah, that's why I sound very miserable in this episode. But anyways, let's soldier on. Who cares? But anyways, those are the 3 free agents we've currently brought in, and let's just wait for some offers to come in for the players that we have transfer listed, and we'll look to strengthen some more positions when the time comes. And just before I forget, 32 million is what we have to spend at the moment, but obviously we're looking to move on some players, so hopefully we'll have a bit more in the not too distant future. So you know what, lads, I've just decided to bite the bullet. I was skimming through a few days there, waiting for some offers to come in, but I do like the look of this Dorado guy. He looks pretty decent. 76 pace, passing could be a little bit better, but I'm sure we can work on it. Very good defending though. I definitely think we need some help in that defence after some of the stupid goals we conceded last season. Decent dribbling as well, so he'll probably be good going forward. And you know what, they're saying that we can offer around 23 million and we might have a chance with it, so I think we might just go in for him. Let's see what happens anyway. I'm not sure if he's actually a real player. He obviously plays for Corinthians in this, but I know with the Brazilian league, they don't have the licenses for the players a lot of the time. So I don't actually think this guy is a real player. So as you can tell, he's going to cost a fair chunk of money here in terms of the budget that we have. So I'm first of all going to try 21.5 million. So we'll give the value. But what I might be willing to do as well is give a 5% sell-on clause. Sometimes the sell-on clauses can actually help. And I don't really plan on selling him, at least not anytime soon. So hopefully we'll never actually have to use that sell-on clause. Okay, they reject it, but they've come back with quite a reasonable offer. 23.6 million. We don't have the biggest budget, so I still want to be a little bit, you know, I want to negotiate a bit more. We'll go 22.5 and see what they say. What do you say, Mr. Corinthians manager or representative? He thinks it's a reasonable offer, so let's get into the discussions for the contract. So this is the offer that they have requested. I originally tried offering £25,000 a week. They've asked for £41,000 a week, a £410,000 signing bonus, and just under £1 million for 20 appearances. So let's remove the appearances bonus. The signing bonus I'm going to bring down to 200, and I'm going to try and bring the wage down just a smidge as well to 37,000. And see what Dorado and his representatives say. No, they want more in the money now, and 410,000 in the signing bonus. The tension's quite high, but I'm not going to panic just yet. Do you know what? I'm just going to pay the money. 42,000, 410,000 signing bonus. Oh god. Okay, the signing bonus has come down. I'm just going to have to accept that, lads. I don't want to risk it anymore. He's the guy I want. We've brought in a new CDM. Dorado, welcome to paradise. Welcome to Celtic Football Club. And he will be going straight into the starting 11. So Dorado goes right into the starting 11. Johnston gets the captain's armband. I think that makes the most sense. Obviously, McGregor was the club captain when he was the starting CDM. But Dorado has now taken that spot. So very, very excited to see how he does. Oh, this is so annoying. This is so annoying. So it looks like Bernardo's release clause has been paid. I didn't even realise he had one. This has been a recurring theme in the game so far. Craig Ward goes out on loan to Southampton. Best of luck to him. But if we move on from him, Paulo Bernardo, who I did not want to sell, and certainly not for 9 bloody million, has left the club. We've gotten an A for selling him for 9 million. Surely that was below his value. Come on now. Let's see. Yeah, he was worth 12.5 million. And I don't think his contract was running out. But that means that we may need to look for another midfielder, which, to be fair, I was probably going to do anyway. And I know I wasn't starting him every game, Bernardo, but I still liked having him in the squad. So that is quite frustrating. We do have a lot of centre midfielders shortlisted, though. I didn't get into them straight away just because I wasn't sure if we were going to go in for another midfielder this season. But right now it looks like we need to. But this is a player I'm happy to see go. Lager, Bielk, whatever his name is. We get an F for selling him just over his market value. That's a bit stupid. Oh, because we could have made another 850k. Get over yourselves. But he leaves the club for 1.7 million, so that gives us a bit more money to spend on a midfielder. And it's official. Trusty will no longer be trusted to don the green and white hoops here at Celtic Park. He will be departing us. We had an offer from Inter Miami and also an offer from Feyenoord. I'd imagine the Feyenoord one is the one that's gone through because the MLS teams normally struggle to pay the wages of players, and it has. He will be moving over to the Netherlands. Again, we get an F for it. To be fair, I probably could have negotiated a bit more than what I did. I ended up just accepting the offer. But still, a nice chunk of change coming in, 4.7 million. Best of luck to Trusty at Feyenoord. Hopefully he won't be shipping in or conceding 7, I should say, just like he did today in real life against Dortmund. But yeah, at least it's not our problem anymore. So I'm going to risk breaking the bank for this transfer. Hugo Larsson, 21 years old, playing his football at Frankfurt at the moment. There's been some great Swedish players for Celtic over the years. Let's try and get another one here. I don't know if this one's going to go through, though. It said I could offer a little bit less than his value, but again, that could be wrong also. 18 million. Let's see what they say. Yeah, this ain't happening. Let's just move on. I'm not even going to waste any time negotiating this. So instead, we're going to go for this Andre Santos bloke at Chelsea at the moment. But Chelsea have about 50 billion players on their books, so I don't think they'll miss one of them too much if they leave. So he's worth 14.5 million. Again, though, it's said we could go a little bit lower. And I know it didn't really work out last time, but at least this time we should have a bit of wiggle room. So let's see how this goes. He's around the same rating as our current midfielders, but obviously is a lot younger. 17.5 million. That's not the worst offer that I've seen. Let's bring this down to 15 and see if Chelsea are happy with that. 15.6. I'm going to be petty and say 15.5. Every penny counts at this stage, and they're happy with that. So let's get him into the team, and hopefully then our squad will be in quite good nick for the season. Oh, I hate when this happens. Normally, in this career mode, when I've gone to sign a player, they've just told me what they wanted financially. But this time, they've left it up to me. So, lad, you're leaving the Premier League, so you're not going to be making as much money, but I still think he should be getting quite a decent wage. I'll go in with 35, and I'll give him a 200,000 signing bonus, and hopefully that might sweeten the deal for him a little bit. I could be overpaying here. I really don't know. But let's see what him and his agent say. They're happy with that. Might have overpaid. Don't really care. Andre Santos, welcome to Celtic. So it was 15.5 million in the end. What rating will we get for that transfer? A C. I know this doesn't really mean much, but still, I always like to see what the game ends up giving me. But he's 76 rated, plenty of room to grow. He'll probably start ahead of Ryan Christie now. Christie can be the impact player off the bench, but I'm pretty happy with that deal. Anthony Ralston has left the club. He's going to Saudi Arabia to play for Al Ittihad. You can go fuck yourself with that F. That was a good negotiation. We would never have gotten 3.3 million for him. I initially asked for 3 million. They kept going back down to 2. So that was the best I could have gotten. So the board can go fuck themselves if they think I could have gotten more. Best of luck to him. The right back does now play for the Saudi team. As well, he was out on loan last season, but we have sold him to Royal Antwerp for what was it again? It was 3 million, sorry, I should say, in the end. He was worth 2.6, so I'm pretty happy with that. Again, I tried negotiating with them, but that was as much as they were willing to pay. So, yeah, but best of luck to him as he plays for Royal Antwerp now. So we have arrived at our first game of the season, which will be against Hibs, who we beat last season to win the league title. But I was just having a look through the objectives. Obviously, I've turned off sacking, so I don't really pay much attention to them anymore. But then I got to the Champions League one. So it says, reach the group stage, which is weird for 2 reasons. The first reason being, there is no group stage anymore. It's the league phase, so they've obviously forgotten to update that. But secondly, we won the league. So surely we shouldn't have to go through the qualifiers. I know once upon a time Scottish teams did have to go through the qualifiers even if they did win the league. Excuse me. But I didn't think that was a thing anymore even in the game. So that's kind of annoying. We might have to go through qualifiers. Which means that if we don't win in the qualifiers, we could be playing Europa League football, which I suppose in one way we could avenge the loss of 2003 against Porto. But still, that's quite frustrating if that's the case. I did not expect that. But anyways, I'll keep you updated on that. Actually, let's have a quick look at the calendar. Are there any qualifiers in the Champions League here? Not yet. As you can see here, Hibs is the first game of the season. St Johnstone away. Dundee FC. I promise as well this year I will stop calling Dundee United, just plain Dundee. I've been reminded on a few occasions. I do apologise. So yeah, I'll do my best to not say that anymore. But yeah, no Champions League qualifiers here as of yet. But I'll keep you posted on that, lads. But you know what? Let's get into this first game against Hibs, get a feel of what the team is like, and then we'll wrap up the episode after that. So it's great to see here as well that Celtic's alternate kit has been included in the game. Annoyingly, anytime we play Hibs, even if we're at home, we have to change the colours of the team because there is a kit clash. As you can see here, Hibs don't have an alternate kit in the game, so that's really annoying. So you know what? It's the first time we're going to get to use the alternate kit, so let's do it. And Hibs will put in their away kit as well, and we will give the first game of the season a playthrough here at Celtic Park. 4 minutes on Legendary, new players in the team. Let's be having ya. Oh, I'm excited, lads. I'm excited. So, as I said, we won't be playing all the full games of the league this season because we want to go on a run in the Champions League again, but we may have to go through qualifiers. I'll have to see what the story is with that after this game. But I'm very excited to play through another season. I haven't actually played this career mode in about a week. at the time of recording, I did finish Season 1 last week. Obviously, the last episode of Season 1 was yesterday, when we won the Scottish Cup final. So, despite the fact there's a very quick turnaround in terms of the uploads from Season 1 to Season 2, in terms of me playing the game, this career mode specifically, there is about a week. But Celtic Park filled to capacity again. The fans out in their numbers. It's You'll Never Walk Alone playing again. I really wish they'd add in some more chants. But we do play Hibs again. The last time we played them, we won the league title. Obviously, that was a record, joining 55th Scottish League title. And this season, we look to break the record and get number 56. So let's get right into it, lads. Enough of the pleasantries. Back at Celtic Park. And let's pick up from where we left off. Here's Santos now, the new signing from Chelsea, which I'm very, very excited about. Well, we got off to a great start in the game where we won the league. And Davison Maeda, he actually did score the first goal in that game. Oh, this kit I think looks absolutely brilliant on Phil Brooks, who actually will be suspended for the first European game after getting sent off against Villa. The suspensions do still carry over to the following season, so that's kind of annoying. But that would be, I suppose, one of the benefits, if it is a qualifying game, is that we might be against lesser opposition. And, hang on now, Santos on his debut. Ooh. And that means that if we do qualify, Brooks won't be suspended for the league phase game. So we'll see how that goes as we get a corner here, which Hatate will whip in. Brooks to Maeda, who was very prolific last season. And here he is again. Oh, but loses it before he can release it. I tell you what, lads, playing this game when you've got a pounding headache and getting the excuses in early, when you've got a pounding headache and you're not feeling the best. I've been quite sick the last few days, and Celtic's result tonight in real life didn't make me feel much better. And I need to clarify that as well. I know somebody has mentioned it. Oh, give me a second. Give me a second. Oh, good save by Poulsen. First time he's been tested as a Celtic player. So yes, I am a Manchester United fan. Celtic are not my number one team. I'm not going to pretend that they are. But of course, as an Irishman and as an Irish football fan, of course I've got a huge love for Celtic as well. But somebody tried pointing that out recently as if I was trying to hide that. No, sure, we're doing a United career mode after this. So yeah, just wanted to get that out there. But still, a lot of love for Celtic, and I love to see them succeed. Oh, and that's a fantastic goal. It's Hatate who opens up the scoring for us this season. 20 minutes into the new campaign, and we take the lead here. I love this jersey. I really, really do. And I tell you what, I really want to use it as much as we can this season. It is absolutely lovely, this third kit. And we score our first goal donning the third kit. And I think it's kind of cool, though, that we're in a new season and we're wearing a kit that we haven't worn yet. That's kind of cool. Just like in real life. But it is kind of annoying. Somebody left a comment about it actually recently enough on one of my videos about, or I think it was actually might have been in the chat of one of the episodes as it was premiering. But apparently this has been an issue for a while with Celtic and Hibs. When you play as one against the other in career mode, there is always a bit of a kick clash, so you have to put both teams in away kits at times. Oh, well, that's terrible defending. Somebody did call my defending atrocious recently in the chat, and I can't actually disagree with them, because I tell you what, Poulsen has stood up to the plate there, and he's given us a... Oh, that's a good ball in. Oh, he's kept us out of jail is what I meant to say. Here's Hatate now. Over to Dorado, making his debut as well. Into Kyogo Furuhashi, back from his injury. He did have to miss the end of Season 1 through a shoulder injury. But he's back here now, and he's back with a bang. Smacks that into the top corner. Kyogo Furuhashi, he may have been missing for a brief period of time, but the aura is as big as it's ever been. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be the main striker in this series. As much as I love him, he's approaching 30 years old. He might actually have turned 30 years old since we've started the season. I'm not too sure. 77 rated. He's not really going to grow much more. But I don't I don't want to get rid of him. It's just a case of how long he's going to be the main man up front. But I tell you what, as long as he's banging in goals like that, he will be the main man. Hibs now on the attack again, though. Good tackle. I think that was by Dorado. And here's Santos. Out to Sessegnon. Over to Maeda. Furuhashi's in here. Furuhashi. Oh, good block by the defender. And we will get the corner, which Hatate will whip in towards Cameron Carter-Vickers. Yeah, set pieces are just not my thing this year. But I'm seeing a lot of people say that scoring from corners is not very easy this year. It's either OP AF or it's virtually impossible to score from a set piece in this game over the years. In this series of games over the years, I should say. But something that seems to be a bit of a formality at the moment is Celtic being the top team in Scotland, both in real life and in video game form. Here's Sessegnon. Have a go, lad. Oh, good save. Wasn't the worst effort in the world. Don't know if I actually scored a goal with Sessegnon last year. I don't think I did. He might have scored in some sim games. Carter-Vickers there with a good interception. Probably do need to sign a couple of more Irish players, though. I thought we'd have more of an Irish presence in this team by now. Oh, but it's a debut goal for a Brazilian player here in Santos. It's 3-0, right on the stroke of half-time. Well, this is just as easy as it was last season, if not easier, against Hibs. They didn't give us much trouble last season, and we're the ones giving them the trouble this season. Yet again. Love that POV camera, but I really wish they had it for the manager when you do the tactical view. They still don't have the actual POV of the manager. You either have to have the same camera as when you actually play the game, or this awkward camera angle where you're behind the manager, so really you have the view of the assistant manager. It's kind of weird. But anyways, 3-0 here at half-time. There's Paddy Pimblett there in the crowd getting a selfie. He's been at Celtic games before. He was at the Scottish Cup final last season IRL when Celtic beat Rangers 1-0. But Adamida obviously is an Irish player we have in the team. Obviously he's on the bench at the moment, but he is a very important player as well, though. But yeah, I might need to look at bringing in some more Irish talent. Obviously we have the youth academy, that Craig Ward guy that we loaned out to Southampton. Oh, I tell you what, it's a good start here though for the second half for Hibs. 3-1. Well, he's done me there. No clean sheet here on the opening day. Hibs are right back in it. I'm not watching the replay of that. Let's just get on with it. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. It's still 3-0. There we go. We just kicked off the second half. But no, in all seriousness, Craig Ward is an Irish youth academy player. Hopefully he grows at Southampton quite rapidly, and then he could be in this team. Furuhashi, lovely turn, lovely finish, lovely goal. 4-1. It's getting a bit too easy. Furuhashi, it's like he... Close your eyes, it's like he never went away. But at least when this player comes on to score twice in a game that ends 4-1, it's not after a, 15-year absence or whatever it was for Ronaldo, when Peter Drury came up with that brilliant bit of commentary. This time, it was merely, 4 games that Furuhashi missed last season. And Adamida stepped up to the plate. So, who knows, this season, Adamida might become the main man up front if he keeps growing. He's at 76 at the moment, so only 1 rating less than Furuhashi, and he is about 6 years younger than him as well. Here's Kuhn. I tell you what, lads, if we get another one, I might just end up jumping to result. Oh, I tell you what, Kuhn didn't have a great game against Dortmund in real life, but he's nearly scored a fantastic goal there. As a former United player comes on here, and Dylan Levitt. Johnston will look to win that. Oh, but he's done well there, Cadden, the Hibs winger. Yeah, I think if we get one more goal, lads, we'll jump to result, and we'll investigate the Champions League a bit further in terms of whether we have to play qualifiers. It's Maeda. Of course it's Maeda. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make all 5 changes now. Ida, Yang can come on. because we didn't really play him much last season. Forrest will be retiring, which is why Yang has now been put on the bench. He is 23, 71 rated. I think he'll be decent as a backup for now. We'll bring on Christie for Santos. Let's bring on Valle for Sessegnon, and we'll bring on... we'll leave Marquis a while. Who else will we bring on? We'll bring on McGregor for Hatate. I think that's all the subs. Is that all the subs? Yes, it is. So I'm just making sure that they all come on before we wrap things up. There we go. 5-1. Let's jump to result. Sim to the end. Oh my goodness me! 7-3! What a game! Yang did score. Christie got another banger. Who got the 6th? No, what am I saying? Yangs was the 6th. I can't do maths. Bowie and Levitt scored for them. What an opening to the season. 7-3 against Tibbs. Mad stuff. So still no update on whether we have qualifiers to play for the Champions League or not, but we have this game here against St. Johnstone. I'm going to quick sim this one. As I say, we're going to fly through the league quite a lot this season. A 3-0 win. Kyogo, Christie, and Kyogo again with the goals. You love to see that. So 2 wins from 2 here to kick off the season. So that's very good. Let's check the calendar yet again and see. Still nothing. No Champions League qualifiers, but we'll sim in yet another few days and see if anything pops up. No update in the Champions League. We do have this game against Dundee FC. Another quick sim. We've changed up a few of the players. Marquis there at right back. Ida up front. Scales is going to play alongside Brooks. Valle at left back. So let's see how we get on here. A 3-1 win. Santos with another goal. Rio Hatate with 2. So it's 100% record so far. And it's good to see, even when we rotate a few players, that we can still get the job done. Still no update on whether we have to play qualifiers or not. In real life, I don't think Celtic would have to. I'm pretty sure now that Scottish teams with the current coefficient are able to go straight into the league phase. So we'll wait and see. But I can see here, Cluj just played a Conference League playoff, it looks like, and Midtjylland played Brøndby in the Europa League. Don't know if there was any Champions League ones. What about Beşiktaş here? Yeah, I'm not too sure. Anyways, we'll figure it out. I'm sure that if we do get a qualifier, that, you know, we should be favourites going into it. I think we'd be one of the better teams in the qualifiers. Let's hope so anyways. But again, we'll see what happens. But that is where I will end the first episode here of Season 2. Thank you so much for tuning in, lads. There's still a few days left in the transfer window, so please do suggest some signings that you would like us to make. The only thing is, if we go into the office here as well before we wrap up, okay, we've 20 million left. We've actually got more than I thought. So if there's any kind of squad players that you think we should be going for in any sort of position, please do let me know. And even if we don't sign them in this window, of course we can always sign them again in January. But that will do it, as I say, lads. Please like the video if you did enjoy it, and consider subscribing to the channel. The road to 400 starts here. Really appreciate you tuning in. See you all tomorrow.